Underneath this cover is the new Mercedes AMG GT. I haven't seen it before, and I want you to get my reaction when I finally uncover it. So it's based on the SL, so I'm thinking it's going to look pretty much the same, but with a hard roof. Let's find out if that's true. So here we go. Almost fell over the cover. Wow. They've done a lot more with it than I thought. It's noticeably different. And I'll tell you what, one of the criticisms I have about the SL is the rear end. I'm not going to be bitching about the rear end on this. Coupes are always better than convertibles, and this is proof. So far, so good. I'm liking it, but we need to find out a little bit more about it. Let's have a chat with someone from AMG. Buy, sell, car, wow. I'd like to introduce you to Matthias. He's product manager at AMG, so you know everything there is to know about this car, don't you, Matthias?
Almost everything.
Almost everything. We'll find out in a moment. So, the design. It looks quite a bit different than the SL, doesn't it?
The whole exterior is totally different from the SL. The only parts that we took over from an SL are actually the doors. The rest is all 100% pure AMG GT.
Because it does look very much like the old GT, but it's evolved. It's kind of, you've almost done like a Porsche 911 thingy, where it's like not massively different, but definitely more modern.
Absolutely, it's much more material, I would say, and it looks more compact than the old one, actually. So, and what we did actually is we stretched the greenhouse, because we now offer a 2+2 seating option, so you could put your child into the rear seats, actually. That's new compared to the old one. And there's more, actually. We now have a 4MATIC system, the AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus in this car, also new to the AMG GT.
Okay, we'll get into both the rear seat space, where you say you'll put your children, if they've been naughty, because I imagine it's quite compact, and we'll get into the four-wheel drive system. But let's continue a bit with the design. Here at the tailgate, is this a lift-up tailgate like on the old car?
This is actually an electric tailgate, and it works also by, we call it hands-free access.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I can do it, but I need the key actually first.
We will pause for a split second. And now Matthias has the key. Let's try it. Go on then. Do you know what? Whenever I try to do that on a car, it never works. I end up just like giving it all that. Right from the get-go, not only is this more beautiful than the SL, it's a way more practical car too, isn't it? Look at that.
Absolutely. It's already much more than the predecessor. It's 75 liters more. But watch out if I press this button here.
Oh, look at that! Do you know what you can fit in there? Actually, you might not be able to, because these are some wide tyres. I was going to suggest that you could carry some spare tyres in there. Will they fit?
I never tried it, but maybe your bicycle, or you're not so sporty?
Yeah, no, look at me. Of course I'm sporty. That's really practical. But let's get onto this wing. So, is this standard, this carbon fibre wing, or is it not? Of course, it's an option.
Of course. This is the aerodynamic package. This is not only the fixed rear wing, we also have more parts in the car. You see the wing down here under the diffuser.
Okay, so this extra element here, this is part of an aerodynamic package. Is this carbon fibre an optional extra, I imagine?
Of course, optional. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
How can we extract more money from our customers?
So we have to. I mean, we're a company. We're not doing it just for fun. Not only.
No. This wing and that diffuser, do you actually get some proper downforce?
Sure, you get more than the base car. But in the base car, we've got active aerodynamics, which means the rear wing is retractable in 5 different positions. So this makes a good balance between performance and efficiency.
Right, but if you select this, obviously you lose that active aero.
You lose it in the rear, actually, but we've got more active aero in the front, which you actually can't see. You have to lay down on the ground.
Well, we can do that in a moment. So I need to press you on this. Do you have a figure for the downforce from these upgrades?
Not yet, no.
Not yet? It's going to be small. It's going to be like reducing lift rather than active downforce.
No, it's not only optics. No. It really works.
Okay.
Trust me.
All right then, I'll trust you. I really like the light design. That's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, this is our signature design for the AMG GT. You don't only see it in the rear, you also see it in the front with the daytime running lights. Same design principle, yeah.
And one last thing to check while I'm here, the exhaust pipes.
Where's your stick?
Yeah, I haven't got a stick. They made sure there was no sticks available. But I can see in here that, it's the usual AMG thing where you have like big exhaust surrounds, but at least somewhere within there are 2 exhaust pipes. They're just not quite as big as they appear at first. Let's move down the side. Like you say, all these panels are completely different to the SL, apart from the door.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's much wider. wider. As you can see, the shoulders are very wide, the front fenders are wider. Not only gives you more performance, but also very, very sporty design or sporty exterior appearance. Yeah.
So the car is actually wider in terms of the body, but is the track as well, the width between the wheels?
Track is wider than the SL. We've got in the front, we've got 295 millimeters tires.
That's pretty large, and at the back even.
305.
So yeah, it just looks more muscular, doesn't it? It's really nice. Yeah. We've got a glass roof there. We'll come to that.
That's optional, of course.
That's of course. Yeah. Can you get a carbon fibre roof?
Not yet, no.
When you say yet, is that like it may come, but?
You never know. We have a lot of ideas. So,
for Black Series, maybe? Or that kind of thing, yeah?
We will see.
Not going to lie, Matthias, one thing I wish they had changed, which is one of the few things they didn't, is the door handles. I'm just not a big fan of these door handles. They're just... sometimes a bit of a faff to operate, and just the feel of them, they feel all right on like an S-Class, but on a sporty car like this, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. Anyway, carbon fibre here on the door caps.
Exactly.
That's optional.
That's the one package, yeah.
I'm noticing here, we've got carbon ceramic brakes. Are those standard?
What do you think?
Of course they're not.
Yeah, absolutely they're not.
Even on the 63, they're not standard?
No, you've got the steel compound brakes, which are 390 millimeters in diameter.
Yeah, okay.
And if you want to go on a racetrack maybe, then I would recommend the ceramic brakes. Then you can choose this one. And this is actually 420 millimeters in the front.
And how many pistons? Is that 6 pistons?
6 pistons.
6 piston. I think Audi, they cram like 10 pistons into there.
It's not all about the pistons on a caliper. It's more on the pistons on the engine.
Right, okay. Yeah. And alloy wheel size, let's see what these are.
21 inch, yeah.
And that's standard, yes?
20 is standard, sorry. 21 is optional.
Right, round at the front, we've got your new badge there. Look.
That's actually standard.
And this is carbon fibre option again at the front. And you were telling me about the active aero here at the front. So what explain it to me, go on.
Lay down.
Like
you have to look under the car.
Do you know what? I got up at 3:30 this morning, so I might just have a little nap. Come on.
So underneath or behind the front splitter, we've got an element, an aero profile, which is made out of carbon fiber. And at a certain speed, depending also on the driving program, this comes down. And what it does actually, it accelerates the air underneath the car.
What happens if you hit a speed hump?
You don't hit it. I mean, then you're a bad driver.
Right, okay.
So in the end, it accelerates the air, which means this causes the so-called Venturi effect, which is actually like an aeroplane wing, vice versa.
Okay, so is this it here, where I'm... Like,
yeah, exactly. Is that where you see the rubber lip?
Yeah.
You feel it?
Yeah.
That's behind it, and there it comes down. Presses down the rubber, and then it accelerates the air, and this means it sucks the car literally down to the ground.
Right, do you know what? That reminds me of the front element on a Porsche 911 Turbo S, the way that bit comes down as well. And when it's not in use, obviously, when you're just driving around town, you've got extra ground clearance for going over those speed humps.
But we've got actually also a lift system in the car, but not only by pressing a button.
Yeah.
It works by GPS coordinates. So you can save it and it always lifts at the same place.
Right, that'd be handy for where I live because I've got a steep drive and I'm always, you know, you have to go in at an angle and if a car's really low, it does bottom out. So it just knows you're approaching and it lifts.
Exactly.
Yes, classic AMG GT, nice big long bonnet.
With the power domes, yeah.
That design is like carried over, isn't it, from the previous generation car?
Yeah, sure.
But obviously it's all new,
and
very
all
nice.
Aluminum.
So the whole body panel.
Exterior except the front and rear bumper, but the rest is all
aluminum. It's all aluminium. So that's obviously to help keep the weight down. What is the weight of this car then, Matthias?
We don't have the final figures yet. We will get them later with an official press announcement.
Okay, right. So what we're saying, it's going to be 1700.
It's heavier than the predecessor, of course, because we've got much more in the car. The car is much longer. It's 18 centimeters longer. It's a little bit higher, 6 centimeters from the ground. So it's pretty much the same width. In the front, we're a little bit wider than the old one. So it's more body, more chassis, so more material. But we also, as I said, the all-wheel drive system. This gains, of course, a lot of weight. Okay,
so the old car was, what, 1,600 kilos?
1,700 something.
So this one's going to be like 1,900?
1,900, yeah. More.
Okay, so it's quite a heavy car then. What is the SL? Because you've obviously announced that.
Well, this is over 1,900. I don't have the exact
Is this similar to the SL or a bit lighter?
That's pretty much the same, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, because the car is wider, so it's more weight in the chassis and the wheels and all the stuff than the SL. But you lose the heavy roof with all the engines and stuff.
Right, let's have a look inside it. So Matthias, here on the inside, it's very familiar to the SL. There's fewer changes in here, right? Apart from the obvious.
Roof and the rear seats.
Yeah. How about the windscreen? Is that slightly different angle or is it exactly the same as the SL?
It's slightly different, yeah. But the same starting point as the SL, but slightly different, yeah.
Is it a bit more upright?
No,
it's more
the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shows how much I know. It's embarrassing. Maybe we'll cut that out. The editors not cut it out, have they? No. But other than that, like the architecture, the design, it's the same, and the instrument design is the same. I'm not really a fan of this, you know.
No, why not?
I don't know. I know it's not supposed to get reflections, but it sort of does a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit the twist to the old analog world, actually.
Yeah.
So we try to combine the new modern digital world with the analog world. This is why we also have still a few buttons down there.
Yeah, you do have some buttons, though climate control is through the touchscreen. However, they are quite easy to access, aren't they? It's just not quite as nice as just turning a knob.
Yeah, you can turn them, for instance, the driving program.
Yeah, there you go. There's the knobs that matter.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so this is always handy to just go through the different driver settings.
Yeah.
And
or
of course,
you just press it and then you're in your individual mode.
Individual is always good. What else is to know about this? The roof. Normally on a Mercedes, I'm opening and closing the roof. You know, everything in Mercedes cars are automated. You know, the steering, look, I use a button to move that. And normally you just swipe and the roof will open and close. But here,
it's a sports car.
it's a spot. Don't tell me you've done this for lightness, because we've already established this car's going to weigh over 1.9 tons. But do you know what? Why would you need to wait for the motors to close it when you can just do it that quickly?
Exactly. It's weight in the worst point you can have it, you know?
Yeah, up high. Exactly right. Good point. This roof, though, does it do any of the clever stuff that Mercedes sunroofs have in the past? Like, can you press a button and it goes opaque, or?
No.
No, because you've got the blind.
You've got the roller.
Yeah.
The roller blind.
Oh, shame. But nice seats, same as the SL, and the infotainment system is the same. So it's not the very latest Mercedes infotainment system that you now get in the new E-Class.
E-Class, no.
Yeah. But it's still good though, right?
It's, of course it's
Says
good.
the man from Mercedes AMG. Confirms that his infotainment system is good. Quick question though.
Yeah.
You've got to just answer totally honestly. When you get in the car, do you just plug your phone and use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto? I do. Do you?
No.
Really?
No. I'm the old guy, you know.
Really? So you actually use the... Really?
Really, I do, yeah.
Do you? Okay, right. We've put a pin comment. If you've got a newish car and you've got Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, do you always just plug your phone in and run that rather than the car manufacturer's system? I sure as heck do. Anyhow, let's talk about these back seats, because the car is slightly longer between the front wheels and the rear wheels than the old GT. How much bigger is that gap now?
It's actually 7 centimeters longer, the wheelbase.
So that's like what? That's 7 centimeters.
Yeah.
And you think that's enough to create some space in the back seat?
I mean,
so
you can try.
Let me get in my driving position. Right, there we go. I'll be happy like that. Let's see if I can get in. So I can just about climb in. Can we move this seat back so we can see what it's like? And I'll move this one out of the way. So, okay, right. Right, I could get a lift back from the pub or, you know, the shops in the back of here. Matthias, how tall are you?
190.
190. So you get in here, right? Now, can you get yourself a bit more comfortable?
I'm comfortable.
Are you sure? Come on, mate. You're
Come
not.
on,
Look at
that's how
look at his
right?
knees. Look
That's
at his
sporty
knees.
driving. That is sporty driving.
Your knees touching the steering wheel, mate.
No, I adjust the steering wheel, you see?
Okay, so Matthias could drive me home.
Easy.
Headroom isn't great, but it is just about doable. And I think there's a bit more space for my legs than there would be in a Porsche 911, but I'd really have to back them to be sure. But do you know what we're going to do now, Matthias?
No.
We're going to switch positions.
Oh.
So Matthias is well over 6 foot. So I'm not really loving this driving position, but I could drive. How you doing now?
Oh, good.
Tell me when it hurts.
No.
Tell me when
No, it hurts.
But it is, you know,
You can do it.
you can just about do it. And I tell you what, it's better than not having the option. Believe me, that's one of the things about the Porsche 911 that has made it such a hit for so long, is the rear seats. And now we've got them in an AMG GT.
Exactly. And we've got the load through function.
Show us the load through function if you can
Not
move.
now.
Can't you just pull that seat down? No. Can you not move?
No, I can not only see it.
Let's go outside and check out the load through function.
Yeah.
Now then, I'm going to check out whether I can hands-free open the tailgate. Told you, I can never make them work. Oi! Wait there, if you do this. What the? Have you got magic toes?
Exactly. That's the reason why.
No way.
Oh.
I want to.
You're too stupid for that.
Come on.
That's not a car for you, I see.
Let's have another go. Like, seriously? Like,
are you good at soccer?
No, I was rubbish at it.
Yeah. Now you know the reason why.
No, why?
Ah, damn it.
Should we do
You
this?
destroyed it, actually.
I've destroyed it.
It's broken.
It is broken. It's not.
Okay.
We've broken it. Is this a pre-production model?
Yes, it is, actually.
It's a quick get out of jail card by the man from Mercedes AMG. Okay.
No, try it again.
Yes. So what was the reason for that?
The ignition was on, actually.
Okay.
That's the reason.
All right. So it confused it a little bit. Right, so load through. First of all, though, look at how practical is this? You've got a load cover. And the load through, I saw you do this earlier. See,
Yeah,
I
there
knew Mercedes, it's automated. And this is one of the tests I like to do in my videos, that you need to be able to put the load cover underneath the false floor. Otherwise, the rules are I have to yeet this.
Right, you could just put it in the trunk here in the rear.
No, it has to go under here. Right, good job it does, otherwise that could have been really embarrassing when I chucked your load cover of your new prototype just over there in the dirt. That's enough of that. Let's go to the business end. Okay then, so important thing on every AMG, of course, is the engine. And first things first, I don't see any like orange wires or red logos on the outside. There's no electrification, is there?
No, not at all. 12 volt.
12 volt, good old-fashioned 12 volts. And good old-fashioned 4-litre twin-turbo V8. There's two versions of this car. What are they and what are the power outputs in PS?
Yeah, we've got a GT63 with 585 horsepower.
This car?
Yes, this one with 800 newton meters of torque. And then we've got the GT55, and this has 476 horsepower.
And both cars, they are four-wheel drive, is that correct?
Absolutely. And we've got also our AMG active ride control system, anti-roll system that prevents the car from rolling when you're going into curves.
On a 12-volt system?
Yep. So every damper is connected to each other. We've got two valves, one for bound and rebound. So and these are connected crosswise, the dampers. And there's always a pressure in the system. Depending on the driving program that you choose. Due to the connection, you've got still the pressure and it doesn't lean so much into the curve like it would normally do.
So have you got rid of anti-roll bars then?
Yes, you don't need them, the stabilization anymore, yeah.
So
it's done by the single damper.
And what is the benefit of that system over a traditional setup with an anti-roll bar?
It reacts much faster and actively in the end. You don't lean so much into the curve, you're faster. And it also gives you more comfort.
Because when you're going straight, you don't have an anti-roll bar, like keeping the wheels tied together.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's move back to the engine and the four-wheel drive system. So tell me a bit about that. What's special about the four-wheel drive system on this car?
It's actually a fully variable system, so you can put the torque like you need it or you want it to have, depending also on the driving program. Usually, if you're going on a highway, 100, 120 kilometers an hour, it's 100% in the rear. And as soon as you need the torque in the front wheels, if you've got slip in the rear or you're going in a curve and accelerating out of it, you need also the torque on the front. So it pushes the torque to the front. So up to like 50-50, and for certain moments, maybe if you've got slip in the rear, if you're on ice or whatever in the rear, it puts 100% to the front.
Really?
For a short time.
Okay. What kind of differential do you have on the rear axle?
Electronically limited slip differential.
And what can that do with the torque?
It also controls the torque between the rear wheels. So you can put the torque always to the outer wheel, the curved outer wheel, so that you always torque on one wheel and don't lose the drive or the power of the car.
How will that improve, like, not only the cornering, but the ability to slide the car?
We've got a drift mode for sliding, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hadn't mentioned that, and I was going to ask you that question. So like with an E63S, you have a drift mode.
Exactly. You can disengage the front axle and you've got only power to the rear axle. A little bit like the old one.
So if you wanted to, and you thought, you know what, I want to feel like the kind of full-blooded, hairy-chested V8 rear-wheel drive experience, you can just turn the systems off, go rear-wheel drive, and hopefully not make a claim on your insurance.
I hope not.
Okay. Is there anything else to know? How about the gearbox?
We've got a 9-speed so-called MCT transmission, which is a multi-clutch technology, how we call it. These are more than just one clutch to get the power, the torque to the rear wheels. Always full power, no shifting times, so always forces to the wheels, all four wheels.
What is the difference then between that setup and, say, a dual clutch system like a Porsche 911 will have, or a torque converter auto like a BMW will have?
It still gives you more comfort actually, because it's like the torque converter transmission from Mercedes. You still keep the whole transmission, but you only change the torque converter to this multi-clutch technology, so you're faster in shifting, but you still have the comfort of the rest of the gearbox.
So it's fast shifting, launch control, but it's just a little bit more comfortable. Let's move on to the suspension. What's different about it compared to the SL? Is it the same or is it different?
The base system is the same, but a lot of parts like the springs have a different ratio or a spring rate. We also have a rear axle steering, which you know from Black Series or the GTR, the predecessor. It gives you more agility below 100 kilometers an hour because the rear wheels, they're steering into the opposite direction of the front wheels. And above 100 kilometers an hour, it goes the same direction. This gives you stability on the highway.
Finally then, Matthias, what's the price?
The price is actually not fixed yet, but it will be very similar to the SL.
Okay, so in the UK, that means it's going to be about £140,000 for the 55 and probably about 170 for the 63. When does it actually go on sale? When can people order them?
So sales release will be end of this year. The first deliveries will be like beginning of next year.
Okay, so pretty soon then. Okay, all very interesting. Now, if you are thinking about buying one of these cars, yeah, you better get your name down quite quickly. But I've got a question for you. Which would you rather have? This new Mercedes AMG GT or Porsche 911? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to watch some more videos, then just click on the window somewhere over Matthias. Just playing along. Anyway, thank you very much, Matthias.
You're absolutely welcome.